What are you going to be when you grow up? This question often creates pressure, especially for those 15 and younger. It also creates possibility. What are you going to be when you grow up? Let me return to that in just a little bit. Spring is a wonderful time of year, is it not? Someone sent me an email reminding me that it is spring, saying, did you hear the one about the pastor who was invited to go to a family dinner? The pastor went dressed in clerical collar, of course, enjoyed the meal with the family, but the 7-year-old boy sitting across from him was staring at him the whole time. Near the end of the meal, the boy looked over, and the pastor said, "What are you staring at?" And the boy pointed at his neck where he had his clerical collar on, and the pastor said, "Oh, this! Do you know why I'm wearing it?" The little boy nodded and said, "It kills fleas and ticks for up to 3 months." Yes, spring is here. Yesterday was our Easter egg hunt, and it was delightful to watch the waves of children coming into our gathering area and our narthex, and yes, even into the sanctuary itself, to find the 1,000+ eggs that were hidden. They were searching for 3 golden eggs that had a prize associated with them, but each of the eggs, whether golden or not, had something good for them, or at least a treat, I should say. It was fun to watch the youngest, up to 3-year-old, as they slowly and methodically picked up egg after egg, treating each one as if it were the Hope Diamond. And then came the 4 to 6-year-olds. They had a bit more energy and zest and plenty of delight as they found the eggs. Finally came the oldest group, the 7 to 10-year-olds. These seasoned egg hunt veterans were ready. Sneakers were laced, game faces on, and they sped here and there on a mission, barreling ahead of one another, swiftly seeking the eggs. Now, as with any egg hunt, there were some mishaps, but there were a great deal of great finds as well. Even if you didn't find one of the golden eggs, you did go home with 15 eggs, each with a treat inside, and not to mention we had a help yourself buffet downstairs filled with donut holes and brownies and cookies. Yes, Mom and Dad, you can thank us later. All in all, it was a wonderful and sweet time together. Seeking and finding an Easter egg, I think, is similar to what I want to suggest you do this week for your faith. Oh, not to find a plastic egg or a piece of candy, but rather to seek and to find ourselves in the midst of this compelling passion narrative. To reflect this week on how does your story intersect with the story of saving power that we remember at this time of year. Which of the characters' perspective most matches yours? Are you caught up in the rush of spring fever, anticipating the warm weather, the good feelings and vibrations that come along with it? Well, then you're one of the jubilant worshipers in the crowd on Palm Sunday, saying, "Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord." Or maybe you are stony-faced and indignant with life, much like the crowd chanting later in the week for the release of Barabbas. Or maybe you are embarrassed or feeling ashamed, wishing you didn't do what you had done, like Peter, who regrets how he denied Jesus, failing to be a faithful friend. Or maybe your heart is heavy, like Mary and the women, lamenting the sad state of our world and the brokenness of humans and governments alike that always leads to the suffering of innocent people. Or maybe you're just trudging along, trying to mind your own business like Simon of Cyrene, until an opportunity arises and he's thrust into the position of witnessing to his faith and serving by carrying Jesus' cross. Or maybe you have stepped forward in faith like Joseph of Arimathea, boldly putting forth your hands to receive the body of Christ. Whichever character speaks to you this week provides many opportunities to reflect. And my hope is that at the foot of the cross you will find yourself. For all along his way toward the cross, Jesus was faithful to the will of his Father, faithful in this passion story to the one who sent him to draw all people unto himself, to give rest to those who are carrying heavy burdens, to reach and offer healing for the brokenhearted, to bring light where there is darkness. What are you going to be when you grow up? I think of all the different roles that I've been as I've grown my 48 plus years, as a son, as a brother, as a grandson, as a friend, as a student, as a neighbor, as a husband, as a father, as an uncle, as a co-worker, an athlete, a musician. I think of all these different identities, and all of them are undergirded by one identity. I know what I'm going to be when I grow up: a forgiven child of God. In the book of Acts, Paul said, God intends that we would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, for he is not far from each of us. For in him we live and move and have our being. A few weeks ago, our choir sang the marvelous words from Jeremiah, "If you seek me with all your heart, you shall find me." A blessed Holy Week to all of you, and my hope is that in your seeking, you will once again find yourself surrounded by eternal love. And now to him who is able to accomplish abundantly beyond all we could ask or imagine, to him be glory, now and forever. Amen.